is a live market update for you, whether you're coming from out of state, whether you're in state. Maybe you're trying to check out inflation prices and see how it's affecting Boise's market. Maybe you want to know about the inventory and you want to know about, what are things looking like? Are we looking at a balanced market? Are things doing what they did last winter? Are we crazy as can be again? Are prices just skyrocketing? Are we, plummeting? Are we seeing any effect with lumber prices? Are we seeing people build, not build? What is going on in the Boise market? I would say that's probably the number one question I get asked as an agent is how's the market? And sometimes they'll ask me about my day. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so, how's the market is a huge thing. And then also, I want to be able to make sure that everyone feels comfortable enough to ask questions, about wherever it is, whatever it is, whether it's a first-time home buyer, whether it's different, the interest rates and effects on the market, the inflation, the lumber, different loan types there might be. I don't know everything there is there. I deflect a lot to a lender there. Whatever it might be, I want you to feel comfortable to keep this going. I can see all the comments that come in. And I also want to know where you're coming in from. So wherever you're coming in from, I would love to know what city, what state you're coming in from. And we'd love to see where you are watching from. So without further delay, with no questions come in, I'm just going to talk. I'm going to talk because the mic's given to me and I'm not going to let that mic go. And we can't share that mic, right? I wish I could have you guys on. That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool if I could figure out how to wait for you guys to hop on and get the video on you guys as well. But thank you. Hey, my day was great. One tonk. Right on cue. Right on cue. Thank you. But you want one tonk? But more importantly, do you want to know how the market is? Let's be honest. That's what you came here, right? Not for my day. Good stuff. So how is the market? The market is definitely compared to 12 months ago, we are definitely slower, but we're also at a higher price point than last year, right? So, median prices, we'll go into specifics later in a second, but, we used to be here and then now we're here, but we're still slower. Last week, if you put a home on the market a year ago, it was race there, walk through, make an offer, make it over asking, and see if you can get your offer accepted. Maybe send the sellers on a trip to Hawaii and see if you can get your offer accepted. Like that was legitimately what was going on. So we are now seeing those things kind of cool off. I'll give an example real quick. So I just listed a house a week and a half ago in North Meridian. North Meridian's a pretty hopping place. People want to be in North Meridian. Good schools, good shopping, good area, low crime, a lot of new growth and development out there. The home wasn't perfect. Inside it was perfect. Super is a $500,000 home. We listed at 500. We had two offers that came in, but neither one of them really bid. They just kind of gave their highest and best offer from the beginning, and we ended up getting one that was over asking, waived part of the inspection. They only wanted to come back with a couple of things that were predetermined in the offer, but we got an over asking offer, and we got that in North Meridian. We got it with a backyard that backs up to Black Cat. I was pretty stoked about that. But the cream puff or the 5-star homes are still going for 5-star prices. If you try to get greedy, if we would have tried to get 510 out of that house because of a couple things, I don't think we would have gotten 510. I think we'd be still sitting on the market until we dropped it to 500, and then we'd be somewhere in that 480 to 500 range. So just kind of give you an idea of the tick on the market. Let's look at some specifics with the market, and that would be let's look at some Ada County prices and some Eagle prices. Remember, Ada County is Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Star, Garden City, Kuna. That's the whole Ada County area. And so we're going to dive into what those numbers are. So and this is a snapshot we've taken from the last 31 days. The last 31 days that show some numbers that mean something to you and might not mean something to you. I'll try to break it down for you. So 258 active homes in Ada County right now. To give you an idea, we would want something in the realm of to give you an idea, in July and September this year, we had a lot more homes than that. Probably 1,500 homes on the market at any given time in those summer months. 258. Out of those 258, not out of those 258 active. Now, pending sales, we had 589. We do have 589 pending sales. That means homes with a contract, right? A buyer and a seller have agreed on a price. They're just waiting for the home inspections to happen, the lender to get their docs all together. 589. To give you and then out of the sold property, any sold properties in Ada County, we have 839. So 258 active, 589 pending, 839 sold. So that's how that shakes down. Awesome metric for Ada County is the median days on market is 15. Why is that important? Because a year ago it was 3. When you'd put a house on the market, it would sell within 3 days. So we know the market is, even though there's less inventory, we still know that how the supply and demand of pricing is pretty close to where it should be. We're not seeing even though 15 is actually, I should say should be, 15 is just 5 times better than 3. It actually acts like probably like 100 times better than 3 because there's some sort of mental calmness going on. But when there's 3, it's just chaos, and it's just chaos, and you're competing too much. So, but 15 is still too low. We want they say a balanced market is somewhere around 4 to 6 months. I'd argue it's somewhere around the 3 to 5 month mark, maybe even 3 to 4 month mark. From what I've read and studied on that, you just want to have, you're hiring homes. You want to sit a while. There's just not a lot of buyers in that. So you want all the supply and demand to meet, and that's kind of where you want it to meet with the days on market. Let's move on to median price in Eagle. In Ada County, around 540,000. It's at 538,988. So about 540. So that's the median sold price in Ada County. When dealing with new, can you get it for asking? That's an awesome question. Yeah, a lot of times you can. In fact, most times just give them a full price offer and it's yours. It's not all the time. It's not all the case, but it is. That's about where you want to be is a full price. In fact, you can even say getting a full price home, a home at a discount in this market is hard. I just had a buyer go under contract with the home was listed at 1.75. I felt like it was a little high. It was super nice inside, and we offered 1.7. And because of the situation, we just thought we'd ask 1.7. But it ended up being the seller was a little bit in the spot where they wanted to move that house fast. And so they moved up the close date on us, and they let us get a little bit of a $50,000 discount on the house. But yeah, and that happened, that appraisal might come in the 1.6 to 1.7 range. So we might have, been able to have that on our side too. But most times you're just offering a full price offer on a new home, and it's usually no questions asked. If anything, you're going to go low more often than you will go above. I've gone above too, though, and that happens as well. Let me know if you have any more questions on that. One Tonk, where are you coming from? You are doing well in the chat. I'd love to know where you're from, and maybe you're local. I don't know. Most people are not local. So yeah, if you do need to comment, please do just type your comments in that section and click enter or push the send button, and I'll get to us. Let's move on to Eagle. 34 active homes currently in Eagle. 34 active homes out of 30,000 residents. That is, what is that, 0.001%? Or what was that, 0.01%? And not a lot of homes on the market right now that are active in Eagle. But the good news is, and I'll get to this later, but the median days on market is 13. So that's a pretty good, 13 is a little bit better than it was a year ago, because a year ago it was 2 days on market, 2 days average days on market. Right now there are 42 pending homes. That's a home with a signed contract from both buyer and seller. It's usually those homes are in that time period, that holding period for 30 days. So in 30 days, that sold number should be right about 42. Right now, our sold number is at 67 in the last 30 days. Not a ton, but again, we're in the slow season. Median days on market, already said that, 13. And the median sold price in Eagle, any guesses? In fact, let's see. Before it scrolls down, $922,000 for the median sold price in Eagle, Idaho. That's the highest it's been, I think, ever. So the highest we had in 2021 was 918,000. But it's hovered between that 875 to 915 range for the last 6 months or so, and that's where we've been. So that's where the Eagle market stands, for those who are wondering there. So Lorna Kiddo, Northeast Meridian, thanks for tuning in, Lorna. Lorna Kiddo, you've been on this before, haven't you, Lorna? I recognize the name. One Tonk, where are you from? And anyone else who's watching, where are you from? And if you are watching this on replay and have questions, do a hashtag, type in hashtag replay, and then type a question. I can still answer those questions. That way, when I'm going through the comments later, I know which ones I've responded to in these me talking, and then which ones I need to type an answer back to. Let's look at some data we have. Any questions, guys? Any questions on first-time home buyers? Any questions on selling in this market, buying in this market, buying from out of state in this market? Has anything changed? One Talk from Oregon, welcome, and go Ducks, Beavers. You got to be one or the other, right? Let me know where you're coming from, and if you have any questions of sellers, for sellers, buyers, anything, first-time home buyers, loans, options for you. I've had a couple people usually that'll email me questions afterwards and say, "Man, I just wanted to ask, but I want, those questions a lot of people have." And if you're worried about your identity, remember you're just some screen name on here, One Tongue 5. And we'd love to have your question. It really helps a ton. And it usually lets me know what you guys are thinking. I usually get to get inside your brains when you guys call or text or email when you're coming to town to, want me to help you look at homes. And that's super helpful to know, because I get to hear and, guide you, but what questions you're having, most likely someone else is having too. So, let's look at, let's pull up. I thought it was interesting. Me and my team were looking at some data of some people who've moved here. And one thing we looked at was a chart of home prices, top 10 cities that have been moved to and their price movement over the last year. Let's pull that up. And one thing that we saw was, so the first place that people were, the home increases were actually Salt Lake City, Utah, and then Boise, Idaho. So you can see that first column, I actually like to ignore that. The 12 months. I guess you're taking an average, and I guess 8% could be right, but that's what we have. All right. Klondike. I'm frozen. Shoot. Hopefully not frozen too long. Klondike, we are from California. Enjoy watching your videos. Are you hearing anything on interest rates in the next 2 to 4 months? Up or down? Yeah. Those who have been paying attention to interest rates, they have gone up. And I was talking to my financial planner. He doesn't expect them to hike too much, but depending on your lender, you could be sitting barely above 3 or in the high 3s, 3.75. So in that, do we expect them to go up? The Fed has, I think they've said exactly that they're going to increase it 3 times, and they've increased it once already. Is that right? I would expect to see 2 increases, but I don't see we do know that the government, not to get political, most people who follow me have some similar ideologies as me. But remember, the government airdropped a bunch of money, free money for all the people. The thinking on the left side is they've just got to recoup that money. It's really, so the Congress has to vote higher tax to raise taxes to get that money back. Well, agree with it or not agree with it, that's what needs to happen for their idea for getting the inflation rates down. And so they have given us a ton of free money. They need to get it back. Interest rates is one way you can do that. Because remember, if the interest rates go up 1%, do you know how much purchasing power you lose? It's called the 1%, 10% rule. If it goes up 1%, your purchasing power goes down 10%. If it goes down 1%, your purchasing power goes up 10%. So therefore, it's a way of inflation too, right? Because you can now afford more than you can actually afford because your home, because interest rates are so low, you're able to spend more, and it gets people moving and gets the money moving. It's one way that they can indirectly affect inflation. So do I expect the interest rates to go up or down? I do expect them to go up, but I don't have a crystal ball. All I've got is a terrible guessing game. And I'd predict they go up, but if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet they'd go up and they'd go down. So, because that seems to be the way my stock market genius works. Am I still frozen? Can you guys see me yet? We have a 0.7 month supply of inventory in December. 0.7 months. So that means about 21 days of inventory. That means if everyone came to shop and they actually bought, like they didn't pass any homes, and the same amount of buyers, and they actually bought the home, even though it wasn't, they just went through statistically and bought the next homes that were on the market, that would only last 21 days. And so we want about 4 to 6 months for a balanced market on that. And they say that's about 3,800 to 5,200 homes. So we still need a ton of homes. We're going to see some of that as we hit the spring. That days on market get to about 3 to 6 weeks. That'd be nice. The Eagle sold prices is nice as well. That's where that 14% increase comes from. 788 to December's was 899, but in the last 31 days we've seen an increase from 899 to 922. So we're seeing some increase in prices in the last even 18 days. Excuse me. And Klondike, thanks for your comment, your compliment. Thank you. Enjoy watching your videos. It really is a pleasure. And you see my number and email going across the bottom of the screen. It really is a pleasure helping you guys out. I've had 2 fist pump texts this week when someone was just so thrilled to get a house. I had this one buyer. They were so happy, they were crying, and their budget's a little bit lower than most, but they were so ecstatic to be in a home. They could finally tell people that because we were past the home inspection. That they were so excited. In fact, Nate, that's a good thing to talk about, actually. Let's talk about that. I think I talked about this in my last video or 2 videos ago, but it's super important to know in how the contract is written in Idaho for home buying. So what happens is there is a 100 per, there's essentially a get out of jail free card in the way Idaho real estate law is written for the contracts we use. And it's written such that if you're doing a home inspection, you can use that home inspection to get out of contract with no questions asked. So if someone buys this house and they find mold in the crawl space, they can get out of contract. If someone gets under contract with this house and they change their mind on this house, they can get out of contract. And so it's easy for the buyers to get under contract, and it really helps promote good buying activity. So if just so you know, that's one of the reason that Idaho real estate is favorable to buy, contractually is because it favors the buyer so that you aren't locked in if you really don't want to be. So, but most people don't just get out of contract just for kicks and giggles. Most people are in it for the long game. So it's been a beneficial thing for Boise. Let's talk about, let's not go to Ada County right now. Let's just, well, we can go there. Let's pull that up. Pull Ada County real quick, and then we'll go to lumber. But let's just talk about that real quick. So you can see in Ada County, it kind of follows the same trend as Eagle. It went from 623 in January, and it peaked in July at 1,031. So we'll just say roughly 600, and it went to roughly 1,000. And then we're heading downwards right now. And remember, the last 30 days, currently we have sold in the last 30 days, 839. So it's going down again. And then the days on market is going steadily up, just like Eagle did. And the median home price is up that's about 144. It's about 20%, if I'm not too far off. 20% up, about 20%. So, and you can see it kind of started leveling off in June on that price. And that's about what we saw, was that May-June region was where the market started to act semi-normal again. So let's talk about lumber right now. Anyone interested in talking about lumber? Let's pull up that graph real quick on lumber. So lumber is is priced in the price per thousand board feet of lumber. And when we had, let's bring that up bigger. When we had, we've always had a pretty steady, between 300 and 600, between 300 and 600. And on like that summer, it peaked at went up to almost 1,000. And that was in 2020. And then in 2021, we had a real peak. That peak came in May, that highest peak. And then when lumber prices went down, you started seeing homeowners and the direct-to-consumer buying wood again, and that price is steadily going up again. And we don't know what it's going to do, but we do know there's a couple things at play. British Columbia had a huge flood, and which is causing mudslides and some supply chain issues with the supply issues and supply chain issues with the lumber. There were also a lot of fires in British Columbia. British Columbia supplies a ton of wood for the United States in our building. So if you look at those, we don't know where it's going. It's not just going up because it's arbitration. It's not arbitrage by those who are producing it and just trying to gouge us, the consumer. We have seen direct slowdowns in the market, the speed of the market, when the price of the lumber goes up as well. One tonk. Let me pause this let's interrupt the lumber talk for one tonk's question. Will Star get a Chipotle? You oh, and Klondike's got a better question. Will Star get a Chipotle? I would honestly say not in the near future. There's the Chipotle. Eagle would get a Chipotle before Star would, for sure. And there's no Chipotle in Star. I could see it going in between Eagle and Star, or the North Meridian area. There's not even a Chipotle in North Meridian. There probably should be. Yeah, there probably should be a Chipotle. But let's move on to the bigger and better question: Crumble or Chip? I am a huge fan of Crumble. Huge fan of Crumble. Chip, you're good. You're okay. Nothing wrong. I mean, I'm never going to not eat a chip cookie. I think I like Crumble a lot. And it might just be the location, but I stop at Crumble way more than I stop at Chip. And I order Crumble for this, that, or the other way more often than Chip. So great question, Claudia. Now I know we're on the same page. Now I know I'm with my kind, is when you guys start asking about Crumble. Yeah, in fact, I didn't even look. I was gonna look at their flavors yesterday. Last week's flavors weren't my faves. Were not my faves. Let's go back to yeah, we talked about lumber. So the interest rates real quick. Interest rates, and then if you guys have any more questions about Boise's market or anything like that, let's talk about that. Interest rates up to 3.6257 at 65 as of January 17th. I saw another person's email, another lender's email come in. They were at 3.75. Jumbo loans were about 3 1/8. So jumbo loans were a lot less. And so we've seen about a 0.5 point increase from October till now. And it's, that can be scary. While at the same time, remember an increase, 1 point increase in percentage rate of your loan equals a 10% decrease in your purchasing power. 1%, 10% rule. So that's a huge, huge thing to keep in mind if you're actually considering buying, is how much home you can get for your dollar. If you're barely making it on your your debt to income ratio and you are maxing out, you're going to be able to purchase a $500,000 home will now become a $450,000 home because of that interest if it goes up a point. So, remember how interest is. Just think of it this way: if you get a 3% loan on $1 million home, that's $30,000 of interest you have to pay each year. Plus, in 30 years, you have to pay down that principal. So, $30,000 per year divided by 12, that is $2,500 a month in your interest that you're paying, divided, and then also add that to the $1 million loan divided by 360. So it kind of works like that. The second part doesn't work like that at all. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. But that's an easy way to, if you're wondering how big of a deal that is. So if we're gonna go from 3%, 30,000, 4%, 40,000. So that's $10,000. That's almost about $1,000 a month. So if you have any questions, type those in the comments. We've been here for 30 minutes. I hope you brought your favorite drink to share with the group. I hate for somebody to be lonely and not have their favorite drink. Apparently these are the best cups in the world. I had no idea, but they are good. Got it from the old Costco. But if you have any questions, do type those in the chat. Questions. This could be first-time homebuyer questions. This could be home inspection questions. This could be contractual questions. This could be the market questions. This could be, how do I buy a home from another state? What's the process? In fact, I'm going to answer that question. Let me tell you about most of my out-of-state customers, because I know that one person here is from North Meridian. I got an Oregon. I've got a California. Let me answer the question of, what does the home buying process look like? I talk about in some of my videos, the 1, 2, 3 easy buying process. When someone calls or texts me, I would much rather hop on a Zoom call. What I try to do is get some information, know for generally a good fit, and then try to hop on that Zoom call. And that Zoom call really takes us to finding out about what you're looking for, what the Boise market looks like, what the Boise map looks like, and then we really, with that, what you're looking for, I try to talk about, I do a few things to find out what you're looking for, and then find out what your non-negotiables are. Sometimes people tell me what their non-negotiables are, but we have to dig a little bit deeper, and there's some things there. So that way we've done this homework, and then when you come to town, because that's the next step, you come to town and we search together. Once we search together, you are going to be with me, and you'll be pre-qualified, and then through a lender here in town, and then we will hop in the car together, and you will tell me everything you're looking for. And I'm going to know by the time we're done together, whether it's a day or two, because I've had some people say they're going to spend 4 days with me, and after 2 days we're done. It's usually 1 to 2 days, and we're going to, I'm going to know everything about what you're looking for in a house. And I take all the notes, and me and my assistant, and we will study the market. We will scour the market. We'll look for the home you're looking for, whether it's a new build, or whether it's an existing home. We find what you're looking for, and I'm very much on the same page. And that's an art. While at the same time, sometimes it's just you just talking and me picking up on what you're saying. Sometimes it's hard. Most times it's easy. So that's how that works. And then most times, believe it or not, most people tell me they'll never buy a home sight unseen. I've had one person fly back up to see that home, and they had to see it for themselves. They told me to buy it, told me to go through it. I did a video tour, I recorded, I did a live tour, and then during the home inspection, they came back to make sure that they liked the home. Not everyone does that. It's funny because I would think with myself doing it that I'd want to. But it really doesn't have to be that way, which is totally crazy. People have a lot of trust. I can say, hey, look, remember where we looked at that one home? Remember that subdivision called ABC subdivision? It's next door to ABC subdivision, or it's next to where we ate lunch, or it's where we saw that kid playing in the street, blah, 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 blah. And that's how that works. And then they are pretty comfortable with it. And most times you can tell from the pictures. And then I'm pretty brutally honest when I have a camera and I don't have someone in town with me, because I'm responsible for, I'm your eyeballs, right? If there's a nick in the wall, I'll tell you. But if I'm touring with you, I'll let you see that nick in the wall. But if I'm going to be held responsible, I'm a little bit more thorough than what I would be if it was just me with you in the same house. So hopefully that makes sense. How long does a new build take? $500,000 ish. Great question. What is that? Oh, it's a truck. I would say, I mean, it depends. If you're including permits and things, we're looking, 6 to 10 months. But at the same time, I mean, those $500,000 homes that are being built, if we're looking in Star, we're looking at one of 3 home builders, and those guys are taking about 6 months to finish. And so, but a lot of those, if you're going to be building a home in Star for 500,000 or lower, and you've got some customization to it, you will be adding a couple months to that. So that's how that works. All right, guys, any other questions before we end this live Q&A from Eagle, Idaho? It could be first-time home buyers. It could be investing. It could be loan programs. It could be something specific. How close is this or that or the other to a certain store? But if you have those questions, type those in the comments. Maybe it's opinions on home builders and things too. I'm not sure. Would love to see you guys in the chat. One Tonk, Klondike, Lorna, thank you for chiming in. If you guys want to get a hold of me, my number is at the bottom, 208-213-0. What is it? 2032, 2092. And 208-213-2092. Call or text. I answer my phone. No one else answers that but me. If you are needing to send an email, brian@brianhymas.com, that goes right to my inbox. I respond to that. I don't outsource that stuff. I still follow that process. It's me. I want to own that. I had someone today tell me they actually chose another buyer's agent, which is actually the first time it's ever happened to me when competing against someone with my YouTube channel. And I asked them why, and part of it was they had a team to work with, and I have me and my assistant. I'm very intimate. I have been born and raised here in Boise. I was an appraiser in 2007. I've done sales for 5 years. I'm pretty intimate with my people. I know them. I like them. They like me. We trust each other. The process moves along. When I say it's a good deal, we're in a consensus, consensual agreement. I have found that the working relationship we have with my people is very much, you've got me. And I have my boundaries. If it's 11 o'clock at night and I don't see the text because I'm sleeping, I'm not going to see that. But I do everything I can for my people, and I take a lot of pride in that. So I would love to have the opportunity to work with you as well. Have I visited Richmond Homes, American Homes, and Eagle and Star? I actually have walked through the Richmond America home. There's 2 of them in my neighborhood, and I've walked through both of them, but they were not finished. It's been a couple months. Tell me why you asked, Terry. Are you under contract with one of them, or are you just wondering as a whole the type of builder they are? I'm happy to, depending why you're asking this question, I'm happy to do more. And I didn't know they were in Star yet. I knew they were in Eagle. But I have visited them. They're very, very Richmond America. Even though they're a large national company, they're very, very, very new to the Boise area. I don't have a whole lot of negative things to say about them. I have read some reviews online that say both bad and good. I'm not sure if you have an opinion otherwise, or if you built them in other cities before, but from what I saw, they were doing good work. and they're not, they're high price point in this neighborhood. So, any other questions before we go? Any other questions before we go? Any jokes? We have bought a Richmond America home previously in the Phoenix area. There you go. And did you like it, Terry? What was your feedback from Richmond America in Phoenix? And are you thinking about Richmond America home in Boise? Or are you just kind of you gun shy on building with them again? Phoenix. I have had a few people come up from Phoenix. It's funny because people from California are moving a lot to Phoenix, Vegas, the Bay. Not my people are moving to the Bay. They're moving from the Bay to Idaho. My type of people they have good customer service. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I would love to. I don't have anything. They are so new that they haven't even completed a home, I don't think, in the Treasure Valley. So I don't have any experience. I'd have to be the lucky one to be on that contract, the one that completes. But I don't have any personal reason to say nay yet. I do like to form my own opinions. Well, at the same time, if I don't have any, I have to get opinion from somewhere. So reviews will help that. But people from California that are like-minded, that are trying to come here to Idaho, I'm competing against Phoenix, Vegas, Dallas, and Nashville a lot. Those are my 4 I compete against a ton. And so every once in a while, a Phoenix person, which is what you are, will come and try to come to Boise. I have been told that we are more expensive than the Phoenix market, at least the couple that have come now. If you're moving from Scottsdale, moving to Boise, obviously Boise is going to be cheap. But if you're moving from, I don't know, a crummier part of town, then maybe, Boise's expensive. If you're thinking about a Richmond home in the future, I don't have anything negative to say yet, especially because they're going to be using, I've seen their work from what I can see. It looks great. I have no reason to say it's not. But if you are looking at building with them, let me know. I can definitely obviously help. When homes are listed on the MLS, it just helps you to get representation, right? I've seen that happen a few times. People are afraid to use a realtor on a new build because they think they're going to save money. Huge mistake. You don't pay an extra dime for that. They're already paying out a realtor, whether they're paying me or their realtor twice to list the home and to sell you the home. But you want somebody representing you on your side of the contract, right? So when they say they don't have something, or when they miss a deadline or whatever it might be, the contract needs to be had and given equal weight to both parties, not just the selling agent that is selling the home and also representing the buyer. That is really hard to do, really hard to balance to act on when perhaps you have stronger ties to the builder than you do your one-time customer. So let me know, Terry. I've seen that happen with a few people. That's not just advice for you. That's advice for anyone who wants to have a realtor on their side. Me, you're anyone else, but I suppose that's I can be that person for you. So, all right, guys. If you have any more questions, chime in as I close down here. But it was a pleasure being with you. I'm glad you guys brought your drinks. I'm glad we had some time. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. Once you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell. The bell gives you notifications for new videos that come out. There is really, I say it all the time, there is no better compliment that I can receive than the compliments I get when I get texts, phone calls, or emails from you. And that information is at the information on your screen, and now scroll at the bottom. It really is the biggest compliment. It doesn't boost my ego as much as it fills my heart with gratitude. I totally appreciate it. My wife and I appreciate it. YouTube has changed my life, while at the same time it's changed your lives, because it gives you guys some sort of it gives you confidence moving forward that who you're working with. And I've noticed when people come to town, we feel like we know each other, and it's been awesome because YouTube brings us together, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. It's also cool that we usually have the same interests. We're usually pretty similar, and I look forward to meeting you and helping you in that journey. 208-213-2092. And then also Brian at brianhymas.com. Call, text, or email. I am the one calling or texting or emailing back, and we will get you in Boise. And if you have questions, I had somebody who had some questions. They said they're 5 to 7 years out, and went up to lunch with them while they were here in town about 8 months ago. And they said, I have some questions. We want to go out to lunch, and then when we're ready to move to Boise, we'll use you. And even if they weren't, I was just happy to go to lunch with them. Anyway, they called 2 weeks ago and said, you know what, we're done with Washington. We're coming. And if you're in that situation where you're not quite ready, let's chat on the phone. Or when you come to town and you're not really ready to move, you're just kind of checking out. Let's go out to eat while you're here. Let's talk about Boise. Let's talk about what you're seeing. You'll tour the town, and we'll be able to see and answer your questions about what you're seeing and homes and areas and all that type of stuff. So it can really be beneficial to hook up talking sooner rather than later. And if you need a realtor and a listening ear, I hope I'm your guy. And it means the world to me if we do work together. So, guys, I'm going to sign off. I don't see any other questions coming in. Thank you for your time tonight. We talked about interest rates. We perhaps going up. We talked about lumber perhaps going up. We don't know though for sure. We talked about loans a little bit. We talked about interest rates, inflation. Talked about the market in Boise. We talked about contracts. We talked about a lot of stuff. If you are skipping to the end, hopefully you caught some of that. You can go back and catch what is fitting for you. And we will see you next time on our live question and answer, as this happens on the third Tuesday at 7 o'clock Mountain, every third Tuesday. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.